Previously on Nick's Wild Ride, I returned once again to the wonderful country of Italy. Here I connected with friends Andrea and Tommaso, and we proceeded to eat and drink and explore and pray, and even crush the balls of the bull for good luck. Then we headed to the Italian Alps to the small town of Marmora to hunt for red stag smack dab in the middle of the roar with legendary Italian hunter Luca Borgarelli. And on my third day, I had some major success. Now it's time for the next part of my Italian adventure as I leave Marmora and drive 3 hours to the tiny town of Grondona. And it's here that I'll attempt to achieve my Italian Grand Slam by taking an Italian fallow deer. I arrive in Grandona, Italy, and it's here that we pick up the rest of the story. Well, that's something you don't see every day. That is cool. Something tells me this is going to be fun. The United States of America is flooded with small towns, and it's these small towns that the American dream has been built on. And here in Italy, things aren't that much different actually, except for the fact that the small towns here are literally thousands of years old. Thousands. Let that sink in for a minute. As I make my way through the narrow streets of Grandona to our hunting lodge, I'm reminded that the human life is short, but the life of the structures here is not. And as I arrive at our hunting lodge and I walk into what appears to be a pretty old building, I am blown away by what I find inside. Wow. Huh. Italy never ceases to amaze me. This is definitely a little bit different than the hunting camps back in the States. This ancient hunting house belongs to the Grondona family, and it's an exclusive hunting property of outdoor booking agents Montefeltro. As I look around at the incredible decor, I count that there are only 4 bedrooms, but over 30 places to sit down and eat and drink. Proof once again that food and beverage are at the center of the Italian culture. But I didn't come to Grandona to eat. I came because this is the home to some of the biggest wild fallow deer in all of Europe. And my friends at Montefeltro have the exclusive keys to unlock it all. Fallow deer are known for sure to have originated in Turkey, but are also thought to be historically native to the Italian peninsula. They come in 4 different color variations, some more rare than others, the most common being a light brown coat with white spots in the summer that turns to a dark brown coat with no spots in the winter. The male fallow deer has a very unique shovel-like antler, and the females have none, and I think they are awesome. The morning after I arrive, it's time to begin hunting, and I'm once again guided by my friend Luca and joined by local gamekeeper Moreno. We load up into this awesome old-school Defender and head out to the outskirts of town, and the further we go, the foggier it gets. Then we get dropped off to begin stalking on foot, and the games begin. It's foggy, it's rainy, and we've already seen deer everywhere in every field, so I think it's going to be a good morning. The town of Grandona is surrounded by working class farms, and the food in those fields combined with the thick cover that surrounds them make for prime fallow deer habitat. Within just a few hundred yards, we walk up on a doe and a nice buck, but in this thick fog, they were alerted to us long before we saw them. And unfortunately, this pattern continued for the next hour.
We've been stalking now for the better part of an hour, and it is absolutely like pea soup here. It's so foggy and so nasty, and we've blown out a bunch of deer already because we literally can't see more than 20 yards. But the silver lining has been that this thing just appeared out of nowhere, a giant medieval tower in the middle of nowhere. Only in Europe is that going to happen. Look at this thing. That's crazy.
The way they hunt these deer here is the way it's been done for centuries. There are no tree stands and no blinds here. Everything is done methodically and slowly on foot, using the cover of the woods to stalk as quietly as possible from field to field. As the morning rolled on, the fog began to roll out, and it was only then that I began to get a grasp of just how many fallow deer there are here. It seemed like every field we came to had at least one buck with some does, and it proved that we had hit the timing of this hunt just right, because you could see from the way the bucks were acting that the rut was in full swing. Over the next few hours, we passed more bucks than I can count, looking for that special mature one, and I'll be honest that if I had been hunting by myself, my hunt would have been over a long time ago. Exhibit A was when we came up on this buck, who I would have shot in a heartbeat.
That was cool. It was just on the small side. And I'm looking at him going, that's pretty damn nice. I might regret that. I'm going to blame them though. I wanted to shoot that one.
There are 4 things that I have gotten used to on this trip to Italy, and not necessarily in this order. Drinking wine, eating, and walking. Lots of walking, which I guess is good because it offsets number 1 and 2. The other is my fearless leader, legendary hunter and author Luca Borgarelli. And after an epic morning of hunting, we spend a few minutes back at the lodge and I get a few minutes to chat with him. You've had the great fortune of hunting all over the world.
Yeah,
You know, you're one of the lucky ones.
yeah. I'm sure I'm a lucky man.
Luca has hunted all over the world, but he tells me that his favorite place of all is still right here at home in Italy. And he worries that that ancient Italian hunting culture is in danger.
There's no so many young hunters,
Yeah.
and so we are old hunters. When we finish hunting, I really I think that also the hunt it will be in danger here in Italy.
You're kind of the last of a dying breed.
I think so. I think so.
Regardless, it's an honor to hunt with you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
So much fun.
Thank you.
An hour later, we're back out stalking in search of the perfect fallow deer buck. And in one of the first fields we stalk up to, we might have just found him.
So, è bello, però secondo me cosa dici?
Luca and Moreno kept glassing and talking.
Possiamo trovarne uno più grosso. Sì.
And then glassing some more and talking some more.
Trovarne qualcosa di meglio.
Obviously, I don't speak Italian and couldn't understand a word of it. As this buck stood there broadside, I was ready to pull the trigger, but something was telling me that I was about to get the red light instead of the green one.
It's a nice one. It's big, but we can find something better.
Seriously?
Yeah, sure.
It looks beautiful to me.
Yes, it's beautiful, but believe me, we can find something better.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I hate you right now. How do I say I hate you in Italian?
Odio, the odio.
The odio. I have always tried to live by the old adage of trust your guide. But as I watch this big guy run off, I'm starting to second guess that, and I'm just hoping that they're right. As we continued our hunt and walked from field to field through the woods, I started to get into the groove of how these animals were hunted. It was a bit like hunting elk back home, only with non-stop action, and I loved it. Walk, stop, look, repeat. It felt like nearly every field we came to had deer in it. I had just started to let my guard down a little bit when Moreno spotted a buck that immediately made me realize why they had me pass all those other ones.
We're right on the edge of a field right here, and there's definitely a shooter in this field. We just saw it. So now we just gotta try and see if we can get in a position to get a shot.
I managed to get set up without spooking anything, and when I look at this deer through my scope, my heart immediately starts pounding. He's a little less than 200 yards away, and this is what I came all this way for. All I need now is for him to stop and give me a shot. But instead, he walks over the hill and out of my life.
I got no shot. Okay, right there.
Or maybe not.
Take it.
Where's he going down right there? That is an amazing buck.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm not very happy with that shot, but we'll see.
Every hunter knows that unsure feeling of whether or not they made the right shot. It's a complicated set of emotions that you can never get used to. And to be on the safe side, we decided to take a few hours, head back to the truck, head back to the lodge for a quick bite to eat before we go to look for my buck. A few slow hours pass and it's finally time to head out and get the knots out of my stomach. Everyone feels confident that the buck isn't far away, but in this part of the world it's standard practice to bring a tracking dog with just in case, which personally I think is smart and I welcome. We take up the trail and just as suspected, we didn't have to go far at all. A wave of relief washes over me, and as I sit down next to this incredible animal in this incredible place with my Italian Grand Slam complete, then I'm overcome by some pretty intense emotions.
My mother passed away 2 weeks ago. I told her I was going to Italy right before she died, and she said that she was so excited that she raised a kid that gets to go and do this stuff that I get to do. I'm just a kid from now then, Minnesota, you know? When I made this bad shot, I sent a prayer up to my mother, said, Mom, if you're up there, help us out. So she did. Mom and the dog, they both helped. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, pup. Brava, brava. Whew.
Let's get it rockin'.